Hi there, it's Emily again for the second of our VOD reviews for the 2020 Asia-Oceania Regional Finals FIA Gran Turismo World Championship Regional Finals race.
Yep.
Race 2.
We're going to Bathurst.
We're going to Bathurst. Bathurst. I had an interview with Jimmy and he said Bathurst. And I was like, you get put in prison for that. And he was like, okay.
They also say yogurt.
Yogurt.
So
What a loose bunch of units. Those people
there's a lot wrong in there. But yeah, 7 laps I think.
7 laps.
It's the longest race we've ever done at this track.
Oh, so long. The Bathurst 1000, nothing like this.
I really want to highlight here the absolute safety of the Volkswagen.
Yeah.
What a motor
Look
vehicle.
at there's no roll hoop on it. If you crash,
The wing is the roll hoop.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, you guys saw race 1 the other day. We finished 8th. So, we were looking for a bit of a recovery drive here. But, as it turns out, the Toyota was quite fast.
Yeah.
But it was very hard to wheel consistently around this place. Obviously, at this time as well, you know, we just come off quite a lot of racing around here in iRacing with E-Series as well, so the driving style was quite a bit different.
Oh yeah.
Which is obviously quite tricky, so as we see here, Emily put it on P11, which probably
Pretty garbage.
wasn't quite indicative of how fast she could have been around here. But again, we're still looking towards that last race, because we know that that's worth double the points, and if we can finish in the points, we still might have a shot towards the end of the night. So, not a terrible result.
Not terrible, but like also not. Sometimes very good, sometimes not so good. Yes. So basically, like in the first race, there was a car draft that we went through. When we were actually looking at the draft, the top car that I had was the Aston Martin. That got like the second pick, I'm pretty sure, or something like that.
Yep.
At the end of the day, we actually.
I think it was front row, from memory.
Yeah. So we have.
Second row.
Yeah. So that was my number 1 pick.
We wanted either the Supra, the Aston, or the Audi.
Or the F-Type. Yeah.
Yeah, they were our 3 picks. I don't remember going for the F-Type. But,
That was my other pick as well. I also thought that was good.
Yeah.
We didn't go with it.
Yeah.
Went with the Toyota because we've raced the Toyota a bunch in Nations Cups. But as we're about to see, the first thing that I would say, and this is a mistake that we'll remember for next time, if you're starting at Bathurst, make sure you start within the top 10. Because if you're starting 11th, you start before the final corner and you get this major oversteer moment. I went full lock to catch that. That was like terrifying. And at that point, we'd lost the draft.
Yeah,
that was
it. So that made quite a big difference as well, because we've got the GTR in front of us, which is notoriously known as one of the quickest straight line cars in the game. So you know, it wasn't like we were going to naturally catch it. We needed the draft to stay with it. So yeah, any shot we had of moving forward was pretty much gone from that point. So
yeah, it was really demoralizing, and it's kind of my fault. Like, I got on the power a bit too heavy, but you're in hard tires. Like, it's so difficult to get the power down at the start. So yeah, I mean, it's just a difficult situation to be in. The thing with driving the Toyota, and as you'll probably see over the course of this race, if you're driving the Toyota on Gran Turismo, you want to shift the gears like maybe 2/3 of the way up the rev kind of display, and it's got a real big turbo. So when the turbo kicks in, it spits you sideways.
yeah, really torquey.
Really torquey.
I think another point which we haven't really gone over yet is you know, a bit of an insight for those who haven't competed in this sort of thing, and actually an insight for everyone, because this is the first time they've done it online. But in terms of practicing for this race, the series ran almost like a daily race sort of structure. There was races every like 40 minutes in the lead up that anyone in this 16 could run. But you could say, oh, well, you could have practiced starting from 11th, but you really couldn't, because
we couldn't.
There were only 16 people who knew the combo, and really the biggest race you saw was probably 3 in the practice race at a time. So that was a completely unprecedented sort of thing for
Yeah,
us. So.
definitely. And it's the kind of thing I'm not sure, like, people who play Gran Turismo are probably wondering, how do you do the online races? Is it like a lobby? Is it like a private lobby? The world finals or the regional finals are, and you can see it gets oversteer, like we're falling behind from the pack in front at this point. The world finals and the regional finals are run through sport mode in the game. So, you know, when you like select, and you've got daily races and then you've got like nations and manufacturers, or the other way around. There's like a third slot which opens up, which is like
It's basically
world
like
final.
a private official series.
Yeah,
like,
it pops up just for us.
The only way I can compare it for iRacing people is basically like the World Championship Series. It's like its own official series that only a certain list of people can participate.
There's obviously
in, so.
something on the background that they can select your PlayStation ID and then it pops up for you, but no one else. So we had that, and there were practice races going every night. So every night we had 2 shots at this. But no one would run it. Like, maybe we'd jump in, maybe Cody was there.
The
maybe
big
McEwen
one was the
there.
X 2019 race. That was the one I think most people were trying to get a gauge of strategy and speed and stuff. But this sort of thing, it's really just 7 qualifying laps. Really, it's not. There's not much more to it. So.
Yeah. So basically, I'm doing my best here. I'm a bit faster than Arrow in front of me. Makes a couple of mistakes as well, but I'm definitely on him. I'm being held up a little bit, which is
we've got a fair bit of practice being stuck behind a GDR, so I think it's important that the straight line performance of this car, it's really, really hard to get around, so you really got to bomb it on the brakes to have any chance of getting by.
Yeah, as we've learnt, like we've had kind of similar situations. A GTR, like, it doesn't have very good cornering, so you've got to like make your move count at the right spots. So I was thinking I'm gonna have to pass this guy going up the mountain. So like on the way up at turn 2 is the way to get it done, because that will give me enough time to potentially gap him, so I don't get sent at the end of Conrod.
That's right.
So yeah, we're at this point, it's a bit frustrating because we've just completely dropped off the front pack, and I actually don't think our pace was that bad. Like, I think we could have been with this.
I think if we were in the tow, we could have stayed with it for sure.
Yeah.
Obviously, the front 2 are pretty much gone, but beyond that, there's quite a big pack that stretches up to that top 4 range, which is what we were looking for. But again, track position's king, especially in these short races. So.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of hustling and sticking around.
There wasn't really a lot to this one. I think this was the least exciting race of the night for us, because we sort of, as I say, with that last corner power skid that we sort of had, we were sort of out of it from that one, so there wasn't really much we could talk about. But yeah, I think an interesting point was just the differences between Gran Turismo Bathurst and iRacing Bathurst that we were so accustomed to. Like, even the white lines work a little bit funny. Like, in iRacing, the pretty much the limit of the track is the wall. Whereas in Gran Turismo, if you go beyond the white lines in some places, even like the cutting, you can lose quite a lot of grip, and even actually get penalties like in the dipper and stuff. So it's a slightly different way of driving the track to get the lap time. So it's a bit of a difference for us.
Just driving around. Not much. Yeah, I do kill this dude at some point. Oh, by the way, I copped a warning for it. So we don't get warnings up on our screen. So we don't know if we're under investigation or anything for an incident. So I didn't know that I was under investigation or that I copped a warning. But it makes sense. I'm glad that I did, because I kind of slid up the inside and went like, get out of the way.
It's a bit tough with the connection as well. You've got to have a go, and it was tight for sure.
Yeah.
And I think the bad connection maybe exaggerated the contact a little bit. So.
Yeah, maybe. So we're doing our best. We're just sticking with them, and there's nothing much we can do, because the GTR's so quick in a straight line. we need to get really good runs up the straight, but it's difficult. And yeah, I'm doing my best to kind of catch up over the top of the hill, but also there's a limit to how hard you can push when the car in front's kind of moving around. Like, I'm not sure if you can see, but sometimes they're like hitting walls and stuff, and it's like you don't know if they're gonna like hit the wall and like bounce backwards, like bounce into you and stuff. So it's kind of like you're trying to stick in that kind of midway through the draft kind of. You're not trying to be on their butt the whole way. Anyway, whatever. So they hit the dipper there, and I go for the opportunity. I was like, this is my shot, let's go. And I get past before Forest Elbow. That were great, they gave me room there. Yeah, that was my opportunity. That was them making a mistake, and I was like, I've got to capitalize on that. So we're ahead, finally got a bit of clear air, and maybe I can do my best to try and catch
This is probably the best visualization of the GTR though, like just how much it hauls us in down this straight.
Yeah, so it completely just drives past us.
Yeah, so one thing is,
I brake late here, yeah, so I go too wide here. We were good, we give each other room. I probably should have committed to that and just tried to clear him, but it was going to be difficult. I do that later on in the race. So yeah, a bit frustrating that I'm stuck behind them again, and now Syke has joined in. So it's now 3 of us. I'm starting to kind of really hassle him, and we're running out of laps. I do get hit there on the apex, which kind of messed up my run.
Which is a shame, because I think that was probably your best chance to sort of clear out as well, was to maybe try and get it done down Mountain Straight.
And that's why I moved over. I was like, nah, you're not going to bump and run me.
No.
So yeah. 3 of us are pretty close, and the Ford GT's been brought back into the show.
Ford is another really quick car in a straight line as well, so it's an important point to remember when we get to this point of the race.
Yeah, the Ford is good. Very torquey. So yeah, we're just kind of chilling. Is there a front windshield on this Mercedes?
Doesn't seem to be showing, does it?
Yeah.
Very low tint.
Very low tint. Yeah, what can you do? So, yeah, chilling. I don't know, it's just kind of hard. Like, we're pushing as hard as we can up and down the mountain, and there's just a limit of how much you can do.
Yeah. It's a bit of an interesting dynamic, I think, because I think in every other sim I've ever seen, the Aussies are unbeatable here. Like, you look at iRacing, like Josh Rogers is unbeatable around here, Dane Warren,
here.
Really fast, but for some reason, the Japanese in Gran Turismo are extremely quick here, so...
Yeah, so I have another go here, and I try to clear him before the apex. I'm a little bit more forceful that time, but I still do give him room. I do make contact with him, but it's like, I didn't hit him off the track. I'm doing my best here.
It's a hard spot to go for that move, though, because, again, that Nissan's just going to fly past us on Mountain Straight again. So, really, really tough one.
But it's hard, because I don't think I had the legs to pass on Mountain Straight. I wanted to, but it was just never there. So here we go. I get an okay run, but they also get an okay run, and I decide to defend because we've got this is the second last lap, and here we see this is really the only kind of issue that I'm a little bit about this whole World Tour. Let's watch it in fast motion here. I go deep and I hit him on the apex, and I keep ahead. So pretty forceful, not great. I have Psycho then, and then I kind of hold the inside here. But I do want to watch that again because it kind of...
Yeah, I think you were definitely deep.
Yeah, it was like not great by me.
Yeah, it's definitely on you, that one, but at the same time you could argue he might, he's not really going to get anywhere out there. Like Gran Turismo is like any other game or like real life. You can't really hold it out there. He wouldn't have lost the other spot though, so yeah, bit of a shame, but
yeah, it is a bit of a bummer, and like
we had to fight hard because that was the last point spot in the race as
yeah.
well, so we need that P10.
It was just so kind of frustrating. So finally got ahead. and we held it into this kind of mountain section, which was awesome. Psycho got through, the Ford got through. It was a bit forceful. If I had my time again, I wouldn't have done it. But yeah, that's my only kind of hit that I had all World Tour, which was great.
Yeah, and it's, I think as someone who's watched pretty much every Gran Turismo race Emily's done for the last year, it's a rarity. You're one of the cleaner drivers in the field, so we all make mistakes every now and again.
I've definitely been to people.
Yeah, but everyone does, is my point, and you generally do it less than most. So
Yeah. So I got a really bad run here, like an idiot, and I'm under attack by Psycho, and I go left, which is going to be the inside at the chase. But that Mercedes has just got really good legs, so I've nearly been driven past, and at that point it's like I have to hit my marker. He goes in pretty deep, expecting to fight, and holds the position, and we're about to go to 1 to go here, and it's turning into actually a bit of a fight for this position. So pretty exciting racing, and you can see my tyres are starting to go. You actually can't see the graphics, but my tyres are going. Like,
they had a high wear percentage.
Yeah, had a high wear percentage. So at this point, like, you can see we're all kind of sliding around a bit, especially on corner exit. The Supra here at, like, in second... I'm third gear out of turn 1, aren't I? And it's like, I pull third and the car, like, cracks sideways at, like, the kind of the turbo lag. It's difficult. So yeah, following Psycho here, a bit frustrating. I'm in 11th. This is, like, 0 points. We're fighting over the last point. If we look up in front, they're also having a big melee, which is great. And he's on their own. Yeah. Not long to go. You can see that big slide out of there.
Yeah, while you pretty much need a perfect run to get a pass done on the GTR, it's half possible on the Mercedes.
Yeah,
the Mercedes hasn't got quite the legs that the GTR has. That's one of the really strong things about racing the GTR, is even if you can't quite get the 1 lap pace out of it, it's really easy to attack and really easy to defend.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of opportunities. You can kind of play your way.
And a good driver
situations.
can make the most of them. So.
Yeah, exactly. It takes some effort to really kind of get the most out of my car. Anyway, here we go. Final lap. We're down Conrad for the final time. At this point, I've decided that 10th place is mine. I'm taking this position. If I goes left, he goes right. I think he comes back left again. No, he doesn't. So he goes right. And here's what I do. I clear him and I brake really, really late. I just try and clear him, which is what I do. And then
park the bus in the mid.
Park the bus in the mid, and we're done.
Yep.
GG. So, and watch it to the line. We'll watch that once again in 1 second as well. And I just defend here to the final corner. That was fine, gave him room, and we're good there. So, into Conrad. My strategy for this, and if you're in this situation next time, generally here you want to kind of give room. Like, if you're going for a pass on somebody, or if you're fighting on the inside, you want to give room on the outside. You always want to make sure that they got the car. But my strategy here, I want to get the move done, and so my strategy is to go in so deep that I'm not going to leave a gap on my outside. There's going to be no gap there, but I'm confident that I'm going to go in so deep that by the time we get to that point, I'll be ahead, so I can just come over on him.
Because the track curves right on exit, there's not really even an opportunity for an over-under, so just going as deep as you can while still keeping it on the road is the best option.
Yeah.
Where you get into trouble is when the guy on the outside goes as deep as you, but the beauty of it is chances are he's going to throw it off the road if he goes that deep.
Exactly,
so,
yeah.
Perfectly done in my eyes.
And park the bus.
And that locked us in for the last points of that race.
Yeah, last point. So that was Bathurst. A lot of fun, that race. Stay tuned. The final race, the X 2019, is at Fuji. It's a lot of strategy, so please tune in for the next VOD review. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a really fascinating race. I can't wait to talk about it. So we'll see you there for that one, the final race of our regional finals. Thanks.